Hi. Hey. All right. Welcome back to another edition of Weird and Wonderful Things. I don't know. That's my name for this right now. But yeah, thanks for joining me tonight. Tonight I am going to be making some bat mounts. I haven't made these before. But had them in here for a while, and I've made similar things before. But what I'm doing tonight is an entirely new endeavor, and it may work, may not work. But let's make a checklist and see what we're going to get accomplished tonight. Try to. All right. My mic on? Yep, mic's on. We're good. Yes. Lapel volume. Just make sure. I don't want to screw you guys out of my sweet, sweet voice. Lapel mic. Yeah, we're good. All right. Hot damn. All right. To do. Okay. We're going to build bat mounts. We're also going to paint a bit. And we're also going to do a round of epoxy. And we're going to be epoxying the bat mounts once they're in place, if we get everything the way we need to get them. But one last thing that we're also going to do is we're going to assemble what we can, depending on like what kind of artwork I have finished. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I was distracted for a second because I wanted to make sure that I had that ready. I didn't think of it until just now. All right, cool. Let's make stuff. Cool. So last time we were trying, one of the things that we did was that we tried to apply crackle paint to this, and we tried to apply a crackle paint to the other one of these. Totally didn't work. I didn't get any of the results I wanted to. So for this one, I really do like that red on here, so we're going to repair that a little bit, and we're going to try one more time. I don't know what we're going to do with it. This is the piece that I want to paint, because if we can get this epoxy tonight, that's amazing. If we can't, then it's not that big a deal. But the other frame we need for the bat mounts, and so it didn't work out the way I wanted it to the last time. So what I did is, before the stream, I went and I just spray painted the hell out of it with glossy black. Now we're gonna epoxy over this as well, much lighter than we do with the other pieces at least. But the epoxy is gonna be a glue that once everything is in place is gonna kind of hold everything together. And I just feel that combined with these branches, because that's what we're gonna be using to mount the bats on, I think that this look of having two layers of these like really epoxy things is going to look really nice together for the purpose of what I'm working with. At least in my head. We'll see how it goes. There's no wrong way to make something that's never been made before. So we'll figure it out as we go. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, let's make stuff. So I'm going to set this aside because it's still a little bit tacky, and I want to try to avoid ruining it as much as I can. So I'm going to set that back. And yeah, let's get started. So these are the front pieces that are going to be in the inserts that are going to go inside of each of these oval frames. Now, I guess I should put this together a little bit so you can get an idea of what the end goal is here. Okay, so for this piece, what we're going to do is that's going to be the insert. So that's what's going to kind of hide behind it. I made these by just cutting out. This was originally just a mirror. And I took out the mirror piece, took out the backing, it's just plastic, but I remade the backing with wood so that it would hold more weight. And we're going to attach that back in there, and then we're going to use some screws to push up and over or through the piece to attach that like that. And then when this is done with that there, let's see, where's my little bat friend at? Here we go. We're going to take one of these little delightful little skeleton bats, and we're going to mount him just like this. And so when you have this piece in your home or wherever, where your belfry perhaps, this little bat just is kind of hang there and just hang out upside down. What's neat about this piece conceptually to me, and both of them I guess, is that I'm going to make the bat secured in a way, and like this, he's kind of floppy, but he will stay up if you do that. So I'm going to make this piece enabled so that you can hang it like that, or, I mean, I didn't need to do that, I guess, because it's a mirror. You can have it hang this way, or if you rotate it, you can have it like he's standing on the branch. And so it will work either way. So just as a lot of the other wire work I do invites a sense of play where you can reshape the wire, this one, you can even hang it in 2 different directions. So that's how this is going to work. That's what these branches that I had worked on epoxying and painting over layers and layers and layers with to get them all nice and smooth. That's what we're going to be doing. So I've done this before with larger pieces, larger sculptures, larger pieces of driftwood, and not this kind of frame, but just like the normal wooden mounts that I use like this. And it's been very successful. I've really loved the way it came out. I've never done it with something so tiny and dainty. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so my thinking here is that this frame has these tiny little holes in here that screws went into. Now the screws that were in here are super, super tiny, and they're about the width of this board, so they're not going to be helpful to us. So I have some other screws that we're going to screw through this and into those holes, but I really don't think that, I don't know, I just kind of I kind of feel like that's not going to work if I just try to hold this and eyeball it. So here's what we're going to do. Let's leave pretty side up at least. I'm going to use this as a backing, and we'll start with this one. And I am going to take the original back piece that this came out of and kind of hold it over it. And then I'm going to mark through the holes where I need to drill, so I have those holes pre-set. Now I was lining this up earlier, and it looks like, I mean, this piece here is really, really, really flush to where all those holes are, and it can be perfectly lined up. I don't think that's going to work with these, because I didn't cut them exactly perfectly, and so they're a little off on a couple sides. But there's enough spots on here that are through where the holes are that I can achieve what I want to do. Just enough to hold it in place, because remember, the epoxy is going to flush over the whole thing, and that's really what's going to hold the whole piece together. So before I proceed, I need to decide which side is up. So, well, in one sense. I guess when it's abstract, it doesn't really matter all that much, but do I want it like that, or do I want it like that? Let's do it like this, because that way this is going to get kind of covered up, that one bit of scratch, and it'll leave more of this open night style area. So that'll work for me. So we're going to flip this over, and we're going to fit that in there as best we can into that groove. That should be pretty good. Now I'm going to take note of which sides line up with holes enough to, if I drill through this, it's even going to be effective. And so it looks like the bottom one will. That one's not going to do it. But let's see. Bottom one. This one will. And we'll try for the top in these two, and we'll see what happens. I just think they're so close to the edge, that's not going to matter so much. So now we know what it looks like inside of there. I'm going to line this up over the top of it. There we go. And then I'm going to just make some little marks with this Sharpie about where these holes live. And I think that will be good. So now I can see where I can successfully drill. And let's see what happens. Let's see. Alrighty. I'm using just a piece of wood so I don't drill directly into my table as a buffer here. We'll see how that works. Oh. This being so close to the edge is kind of shitty. Hopefully this lines up, at least a couple of these, just enough to get in place. Worst comes to worst, we can make something up as we go along. See how it spins and tries to get a little off? You need better equipment. I didn't think I was going to get the... I guess the bottom one does line up a little bit. Let's try it out. Okay. We got a couple of holes in here now. So let's set this back in. And it looks like I have one I know is going to line up. Two lines up kind of. Well, these two line up. So top and bottom, that should be good. Let's try that out. One down. Two down. Yeah, that worked. I shouldn't sound so surprised when things work. Let's see if any of the other ones line up enough. I think this one lines up enough, maybe. It's hard to tell, but what I'm screwing into is basically a big hollow, and it has a thin little tube that comes out where the other screw perfectly aligned with. That's not the case here whatsoever. I think that's enough. Cool. It's fairly stable. I mean, by itself, I wouldn't consider this safe or anything like that. But like I said, with the epoxy, it should be fine. Cool. So that is now attached there. Let's go ahead and repeat this process with the other one. So... that's this one. Alright, and this is technically the starting top. Set that in there and verify that I want this to be right side up. That's kind of cool, I guess. I kind of had it set in my mind that it would be like that. But I do like the other way. I know I do like the other way. I think this is fine. Well, because the bat's going to go like that. Do you want that as night, or do you want that as night? Let's just go with it like this. Actually, hell, let's do this. Let's do the smarter decision. What side does my weird, oddly shaped oval fit in better? That fits pretty good. What about this? I guess they both work. We'll just go with this. Okay. And so we're going to do the same trick that I did before. We're going to line this up. It's very close to the edge there. Okay. So that's good. And I got all of the dots that time. So let's see if we can screw it effectively. that's odd. Why did that happen? Let's try to get that back on there. This way. There we go. Sweet. Oh, thank you. Got a beer. Beer! Must take a break for beer. Big fruity mango beer. All right. You work with what you got, people. All right, let's get this attached. So now we don't need that anymore. And let's clear all that crap out of there. Put this in there. And I believe it was like that. And we need the screws I'd set aside. Little tiny screws. Little tiny screws. That one's in. That one totally aligns, which is great. That one kind of aligns. I think it'll be good enough though. Let's see. Cool. This seems like it's working, which is very, very pleasing. And then these ones don't align. They're just slightly off. I think this one might work though. Might be able to muscle its way into the hole. Okay, cool. So now, excellent. So now I have two completed back mounts, at least the basics of them. So now comes the interesting part. How do we attach these to these? So I've given this a little bit of thought, and what I settled on was screws. We're gonna do a screw straight through the back, and the back's gonna go up like that, and then we're gonna go a little bit into the branch, and then we'll do the same thing on the other one. And so let's just make a little mark there. And I guess I do need the wood again. Where'd my little divot go? Wish I could explain this better, but I'm literally just making that as I go along. I'm hoping for the best. Let's see. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure if this will work. I feel like this is too thick of a hole for this screw to not slip through. Oh no, it works. It's totally threaded. Good. Okay, excellent. So in that case, let's use the power drill. We'll keep that handy. Sweet. All right, one down. Now let's mark where the other one's going to go. So I was thinking to be kind of like that. That way both sides kind of, it's at a little bit of an angle, but both sides are interesting and both sides kind of intersect with the frame. So that's good. If I wanted to continue that on this side, I'd need another one right there. So to mark that, is that really what I'm doing? Yep. Once you kind of drill into something, you're kind of committed to where you picked. So now we're going to switch back to this. So drilling works, which is good. Perfect. All right. This is still fairly delicate, just because it's kind of loosely put together at this point, but just be careful with it, see what happens. Yeah, volume's still good. Oh, that sounded lovely. Okay, so now we need to make this go in there. So how are we going to do that? What I'm thinking is we're just going to kind of roughly center it on there. And then I'm going to seed some holes in this. But I can't really see where the second one went. Oh, there it is. Okay. So this is going to be a little tricky. Hopefully I don't break it, fuck it up. We'll see. Seems to be my motto. Hope I don't fuck it up. Eh. I guess I'm not afraid to try new things. Good. That one's good. And this one's rough. I'm hoping that that'll be enough of a seeding hole for this. We'll see. The line. Oh, it does. Cool, it works. Sweet. Switch back. Now I did this before with bolts that could sit out at different angles, so let's see how this works. I'll show you. Ah! Okay, let's try. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back off on one of these. That way I'm only dealing with one at a time on this side. And let's double check my commitment levels. Like, this is the spot that I want to drill into? Yes. Okay, cool. So then, what we're going to do is I'm going to drill through Oh, grab it. Cool. That works. Watch out for the helicopter. Perfect. Alright, and then bring that out. Let's go forward on this guy a little bit. Ow. We ran into a problem. Alright, I thought it was going to be a problem, but oh. Damn it, split. Rats. Well, that's okay, because what I could... This is trouble, but I think it's repairable. And this is the perfect spot in this to fix an error like that. Okay, cool. Well, this one is good for phase 1 minus that little critical break right there. Rats. But overall, that is a frame with a bone-looking stick stuck to it now. So cool. We'll have to be more careful with this one. I'm going to set this aside. Okay, so let's repeat our quasi-success on this one. See what happens. Okay, so there's that. And then for this guy, I really think that that looks cool right there. And for this one, I'm not going to mess with really trying to do a bolt up there. I'm going to do 2 of them right here together. So let's see. If I make my mark, and I do that early right now, I'm going to drill right through there. Seems like it would work. And I'm going to go right about there. And maybe I can use 2 screws and just kind of eyeball it. Alright. So, here. Does that look good? I mean, it looks like a stick on a weird thing. So I'll take it as a yes. Okay. And if that's the case, I'm going to try this first. That's all I needed, just a little tiny thing. And so that feeds in like that, and that's going to come out there. So I think my other one should probably be just below it, huh? So maybe like right here. I know that screwing through that worked out pretty well, so I'm not too concerned about how to do that part, but if I can figure out how to do this part better, this is something I can repeat. Line these up. A little bit in there. Okay. So that's gonna live in there like that. Man, I made that mark, but I didn't consider that. Well. Interessante. What a problem. Let's see, how can I do this? So my position for that hole is fine, but that means going through the frame. So that's a problem. I don't have to go use that hole though. I'm not married to it. But I do like the way that looks. But I need to pick a spot on here that's in line with the way that I can make this. So maybe that means it's coming closer to it. So maybe like right here instead. Let's try that. Oh, careful. Ah! My precious tiny wood. Okay, cool. Work. Running out of air. I feel like I have more of those cans around here somewhere, but I don't know. Let's buy some more. Okay. Sometimes when I'm making stuff, I get all kind of bummed out because I feel like my vision for what I'm making, I run into these harsh things called realities, where that doesn't exactly line up with being something that can actually be real. But maybe with this one, just maybe, I think that this one will line up and it will be a beautiful piece of artwork. We'll see. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm gonna eyeball where I think I need to drill. And I think that's gonna be pretty close. So let's go with that. And I kind of want to just do one at a time, just in case I need to back off a little bit. So let's get that in there. Oh wait, I can't drill it, huh? Rats. Gotta commit to it. All right. Well, let's at least eyeball it and look how much difference it is. It's about that different. It's gonna be pretty close. Pretty close. I'm gonna just eyeball it and just judge it and say it needs to be a little bit this way or. Oh, it's done now. Let's just hope it worked. Okay. It's so nerve-wracking. Okay. So this is kind of like that. Cool. Let's hold that in place. It's going in there, it's good. Now back off. I need to get this all the way in to give some distance. Whoops. Whoa, look out, fingers. Okay, cool. That's in there. Let's go at it again. And I did it! Hot damn! It worked. It's a little, and I can bend it a little bit. It's not exactly how I wanted it, but it kind of works. I don't know. I was really hoping it'd be a little more straight, or a little more like this. Damn. Rats! Well, maybe I could take out one of these. Okay. And so I just need to like make it go in where I want it to. But I didn't pre-drill it this time, so here comes the nightmare of this breaking. Don't break. Don't break. Yeah, it's just not gonna work. Fuck. Rats. Disappointment. Well, let's hold a bat up to it at least and see what it looks like. Struggle. So if the bat hung off of it, I mean, it's not bad. I think it's alright, actually. Cool. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing's abstract and lived in my head to begin with, so let's just go with it. I think that'll work. Okay. It's a little bent right there, but we'll just trust it and see what happens. Okay. Cool. Damn. I am disappointed with it, though. Ah, rats. How can I fix this? I'm a problem solver, damn it. Can I... What are the other tools I have available to me? Maybe I don't need to use two. I could back out. Got these bolts. These work. Will a bolt work in this way at all? I think I'm really quabbling over nothing. Yeah, it's fine. I'm just being overcritical. I think it's fine. Okay. Well, let's run with it and see what happens. Cool. Okay. So we finished phase one. We've constructed the base mounts. We got 2 of them. Now we just need to kind of gussy them up a little bit to make them kind of more invisible. And we have to repair this now. So my thought with that, let's see. The epoxy we're going to put over it's going to kind of smooth out a lot of the imperfections. So let's just kind of paint here and paint here. And I think I have some glossy black. I just have to get to it. So, I do. Cool. All right, glossy black. It's not a lot of glossy black, but it should be just enough to cover up and mask these here. Now this glossy black isn't the same as the other glossy black that's on the frame or the stick. That should be okay. But what I might do is just mask that because I'm completely neurotic. And I want to make sure that that's disguised heavily. I'm also considering, I don't know, I kind of want to use this this putty that you would normally seal holes in walls to go over the threads of the screws to even them out to be more like poles. Let's try it on one and just see what it looks like. It's a fast drying putty. And we're just going to kind of stick it in the grooves. I did this on a bigger piece and it seemed to work pretty well. That's just a pain in the ass. Screw it. We'll make it up as we go along. Okay. Let's stick to plan A. Or Z. I don't know what plan I'm on anymore. Planet 9. When I epoxy over this, it should smooth all this crap out anyway. If I was to do this again in the future, I'm probably going to use a thicker backboard than this thin wood. That's good, because I have another project lined up that was a commission that is in the making of doing a big one of these, like a full-sized frame with a larger wire sculpture on it. But this is good to have a little trial run of how this stuff works on this, because now I know not to use the same kind of board. Yeah, everything is a blessing. And some of this stuff I'm going to paint over, just because there's a couple of clear drips. I'm just going to paint that real quick. And the other thing we have to do is we have to sign. But how do you sign something that goes both ways? You could sign upside down. That way the signature's upside down with the bat. Or if the bat's upside down, the signature is upside down. Or you could sign on the side. Signing on the side actually seems like it makes a lot of sense. Let's go with that. That way it can be read either direction. Okay. So that's good. That's good. Alright. My little bat friend. Alrighty. Cool. Alright, so what's next? What are we doing? Where are we at? Build bat mounts. Did it. Kick ass. There's something. That's for sure. Let's start working on painting mounts. That's the next one. Okay. Alright. I want to do my signature on these. Let's go kind of muted again because I really like that look. I'm going to go with more indigo. I'm a big fan. Put a little bit of indigo in here. It's my base coat for that. And then I have a little bit of this, and we'll make it a little bit lighter with a little bit of white. Just a little bit lighter. Actually, what we can do is we can do varying degrees. And let me give myself some little water, a little bit of wash, so I can have the paint run nice and drearily. Drearily, is that a word? It is now. Let's work for the signature for this one. So. Okay. Let's raise this table up so I'm not breaking my back. I have a different idea. What if I was gonna sign it around the side there, but what if instead of doing that? So typically, I'd sign it EDWARDS. What if I? Oh wait, that doesn't make sense. I was gonna see about like flipping the letters, like every other letter or something. But that's just retarded looking. Or it doesn't make any sense. So let's not do that. Okay. I assume that my name doesn't work both ways. But maybe what I could do is like that. Then if it's upside down, now a signature should just be a signature, but it's weird when you have your piece able to flip upside down and also still be a piece. Well, if it's minimal, it doesn't matter. I could sign it twice. Nah, it's silly. I want people to hang it like that. So I'm just going to sign it right here. And that's a little light for this still, so let's get some more straight paint in there to darken it up. Never have enough black. I don't really like it. Nope. Don't like it at all. Can I get rid of it? Let's see. What color paint is pretty forgiving. If we get right in there. Cool. Sweet. Cool. Alright. I'm just going to do it right across the bottom. I think it looks nice. And it'll be a nice juxtaposition for when it's upside down, if my signature's upside down. That's what I'm going to tell myself to sleep at night. A little bit more of that white right here. Just a touch. I need more white to have that show up. Damn it. I like black so much. Maybe not black, but this darkness. Damn, I don't really like that. This S. I guess I can still fix it. This is a Q-tip. Can't bring any out here though. Probably do is maybe the tip of a nail. Yeah. Let's try that. Maybe the back end of a Sharpie. There we go. Now I can space out that just a little bit more. Perfect. And none's the wiser. think that'll work. It's nice that acrylic base paint is so forgiving. It's funny how random I am, or like how I can just kind of go with the flow of mostly anything. But then I'm such a picky kind of perfectionist when it comes to like the most random things. There we go. Maybe this is fine. It's a weird thing to say, but my colored blindness in me like doesn't see this being as bright as it is. So I don't know. Just gonna have to trust it. I think this one's good. This one will be easier because this one I'm just gonna do in white. Well, that one came out nice and just right away the first time. That's funny. That first one was just practice, that's all. Sweet. All right, cool. Ta-da! Cool. All right. That works. Okay. And as still want to do something with this guy. So what the fuck am I gonna do to it? Well, I really like the red. Still like the red. So let's fix that. Maybe the black is fine. Do you ever think you have like a million problems and you're stressing over like all of this kind of stuff? And then like it just kind of dawns on you that like no one cares. You overstress the littlest tiny things, and you think that everyone is judging you or will like look at this tiny little edge here and like hold you accountable, and that's just not true. But I'm kind of glad that I feel that way. It's kind of like how they describe having taste or whatever. It's like I've done this a bunch of times, and I've been doing art all of my life, it seems like, since I was a little kid. And so I've looked at art all of my life, and that's probably more art than most people look at in a small portion of their life. Wait, did I say that right? I've looked at more art my entire life. No. Most people in their lives have their entire life. I've seen more art in a small portion of my life. That's what I was trying to say. Yes, those are words, Joey. Thank you. But just because I've seen so much of it like I've acquired like a certain set of criteria, an eye for it, I guess, in some respects. At least to the stuff that I like. And so when I make artwork, I make the stuff that I like. Fuck everybody else. Especially with this stuff. This stuff hasn't existed before. I've seen a couple of things out there that is kind of similar to it, but nothing in the way that this comes together. So, I don't know. I guess what I was getting at with that random monologue was I can look at this and I can say it looks like shit, and I can stress out over it, but really, it's not that big a deal because no one else will be ever as critical of it as I am. And if I could take a step back and accept that a little bit, I can be more free, and I can not stress over it, and I can just enjoy it for what it is, and embrace it, and just see what happens with it, and not be so stuck on, I don't know, not worried about it not succeeding, I guess. Something like that. I'm gonna shut up now. It's a shame this didn't crackle the way I wanted it to. Can I just wipe? Oh, I can. Cool. There's these weird white spots on here. I was worried I was going to have to paint over them, but that works really well. This is going to be the background to a bat that's going to sit in front of it. And the way that this piece works, it's going to be similar to what we just did with the bat frames, but it's going to use this piece, and then this fucker is going to sit on there. So it's going to be like a much larger thing. I feel like with the red, it's going to make a nice, cool, weird outline for it, and it's going to be a lot deeper looking red once it's epoxied. I guess it can just be black. I just feel like I could be doing something with it more like I do with my other mounts, but I don't really know. Oh my god, of course. Why did I think of this before? Duh. Okay. Yes. I love it when creativity strikes. I know exactly what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to blood splatter it. That's what I'm going to do. Duh. Why didn't I think of this earlier? Yes. I just needed something to break up that monotony. Can I get some big drips on there? There we go. Perfect. That's all I needed. That's great. That's perfect. Look at that shit. That's fantastic. Ah, cool. It worked. It did the thing. Yay. All right, cool. Huzzah. It's a vampire bat. Of course it is. Let's sign it too. Get that out of the way now. Do I sign it in the red? I sign it in the black. I sign it in the red with black. This whole streaming thing's weird. It's like I'm thinking out loud in my head. Where people can judge me. Yeah, fuck them. Good enough. Kind of don't like that E though. Of course I don't. No, easily corrected. What? I don't want to disturb it too much. Because I don't want to fuck up those splatters. But once that dries a little bit, I can kind of touch up the lettering with red, tighten it up. And it's so nice right there. Nope. Alright, color gotta go. It's not centered. Wait. Think this through. Joe, before you erase it. Maybe I could just redo these. Where's my stick this is gonna go with? Where did I put it? If this sits like that, then it makes sense for that part to be covered. Okay, cool. Sweet. Okay. Then I'm A-okay. But I do wanna get rid of these guys then. Just gotta be careful. Okay. Thank you. Let's speed things up a little bit. Use the old heat gun again. Really want to be careful with pushing that paint around. Hate it. So picky. It's funny how like you'll flow for like 2 seconds and then like, nope, not flowing anymore. Sorry guys. All done for the day. This seemed like a damn D. There we go. There we go. Good. Perfect. I can do like a little merp. Merp. Perfect. All done. Sweet. Alright, cool, we did it. Painted the mounts. Let's assemble this. Fuck it. We can epoxy that too. And have that be done. Have that be done. Yes, those are words. Let's dry that signature off so that I could work with it. And I don't want to get my hands full of paint, so let's kind of sop up some of this blood. Excellent. Okay, let's lower this guy again. Put you away. Put you guys away. Clear up some space. What am I going to use to put these on there, though? Bolts? Do we have bolts? I can use full-size bolts. Just gotta remember where I put them. I can use big screws. I got these big screws that'll work. Big gaudy gold screws. That's fine. Well, let's take a look realistically. Maybe I don't need that big of a screw. So this is going to hang out like right there. So no, it doesn't even need. I can use my black ones I was using before. So I got one. There's another one I had. There you are. You can use you, just like on the other mount. So I need to figure out how that bat's going to sit on here real quick. So let's see. I was thinking it would be just like that. I mean, I could bend his legs and have him situated however. There it was. Wait, I think that looks visually appealing, so we'll just go like that, and then I'll figure out a way to make it work. Okay. Just throw it behind me. Okay. Like my little eyeball drilling tactic? I do too. Alright. Let's drill some holes. And possibly ruin some more artwork. Wish I had a thinner drill bit. I don't right now though. Not handily. That was it. 820. Doing this for a little while, huh? Alright. Pay no attention to that. It came with the wood when I found it at the Goodwill. I want that, right? To put it like that. Let's go with that. Oh wow, that screws in pretty easily. Maybe I should be doing it like that. Oh, I like that idea. Okay, let's get the other screw deeper in there. back this one a little bit. Or maybe we do need that one in there. Just do I like it like that, or do I like it like that? I think I like it like that. It's good. That worked? Cool. So I kind of want this one to come out a little bit, so there we go. It's on there. Can I? There we go. I think that'll work. Cool. So that means I just need to paint those nails and then we can move on to epoxying and get that done. Where did I do the gloss paint? There it is. Let's see. And touch up a couple of those bubbles. Okay. Cool. Sweet. Don't waste paint when you can draw a spiral. Paint a spiral. Okay, cool. So that's good. Let's hit that with one more round of heat to dry that paint. Just briefly. Okay, cool. Sweet. Alrighty then. Dun, 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 dun. Cool. Paint mounts. All done. Time to epoxy. Hello. Hi again. Alright, we're going to switch views so you can get a better shot of the epoxy table and such. Boop. Huzzah. Alright, cool. So, let's clean up this crap a little bit. One of the other things that we're going to be doing too is, remember, we got to do this one over again. There's some little light parts in there that the wax, that's the color tone that's underneath the paint right now, pushed out the epoxy when it was setting. So we're going to get that again so it's all covered. And by epoxying over these bees and these pieces of like bee's nest, it's going to reinforce that and make it extra strong so it won't just chip away. But first, we got to make sure that we have a level surface on each of these. So most of these should be fine. Like this one. So many things. This one should be fine already. Yeah, that one's good. Where can we set these guys though? How does that look? That's pretty good. It's not perfect though. Let's just adapt a couple of these then. And we're going to want to epoxy you. So let's see. What's a good way to organize these on the table? I have to heat up a couple of these edges so that I can pop off the epoxy that's settled in my grooves there. Let's see. And to do that, I'm going to need hue. So let's go with this one. There we go. Just pop that right off. Now I can get to your sweet insides. Oops. There we go. Cool. Okay, cool. Wow. No bueno. Ah, rat. I always said I don't have any more of my air can spray. I think I have some over here. Nope, I don't. Oh well. I'll have to improvise then. Okay. Okay, let's do this. So let's try to make. These guys are so big and awkward. Maybe I can do this one right here. That seems kind of level. Let's test it. Where'd my level go? It's pretty good. Doable. All right, so that one's good. There. That's pretty good there too. I want to have it as level as possible though. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, cool. That'll work there. And then just need this one. Okay, so that one's not level, but what part isn't level about it? That one's got to come up a little bit. Okay. Oh, rats, that was one of the ones that I didn't heat up just now. What about all those ones I just fucked with? Can I use any of those? There's so many and they're so grouped together. I really think that one's going to be my best bet. Okay. What I'm doing is epoxy from my previous epoxy rounds has gotten into the Phillips head of these screws that I'm using to prop everything up on. And I'm balancing these on like 3 to 4 screws each. I'm trying to find like a level spot for it so the epoxy can kind of pull over it evenly. But when they get covered, I can't screw into them and adjust their height anymore. So I heat it up with a heat gun, and it heats up the screw just enough that it makes the epoxy flake back off. I just gotta be careful about breathing it in. Whoa. Pretty good. Cool. We got our spots. Everything's in place. Okay, let's do this. Oh wait. This one doesn't work. I'm over the edge. I'm over the edge. But I think I can cheat a little bit. There we go. Is that still level? Pretty level. I think it'll work. Okay, so let's get suited up. Dun, dun, dun. Seriously, mistreating this beer by not drinking it. Okay. So it's got a bit of residue in it. How about this one? This one does too. Do I have a fresh cut? I think I have one fresh cut left. I do. Cool. Let's see if I can get it. Yes. Cool. Fresh cut, I can guarantee that the amount I'm putting into it is going to be correct. Because you want to have really 50-50% mixture or this stuff gets a little funky. So I'm just doing topical surfaces. I'm going to go to a 400 mixture. So that'll be 800 milliliters altogether. Okay. that line. There we go. Cool. You guys stay up there. I'll borrow you. Echo. Set a timer for 2 minutes. All right. Sweet. So how's everyone doing tonight? Good, I hope. All right, just mixing epoxy. Just mixing it up. Ooh. Stuff looks neat when you're mixing it up too. It's kind of spirally. Mixing it up. Mixing that epoxy, yeah. When you're mixing up epoxy, just you gotta make sure to scrape the sides really well. Make sure it's all getting integrated. And it's 2 minutes mixing it up in one container, and then you pour it into another one, which kind of aerates it. And then you mix it for 1 more minute in the other, and then you're good to pour. And wear gloves. This stuff's gross. It's plastic, I think. Something horrible, I'm sure. And it's not cheap. It's like singly the most expensive material that I have to pay for to make this stuff. Like the artwork that I do. Ugh. Oh, cool. Echo. Stop. Okay. Now we need, use either of these. Let's see. That's a good way to show this. Here. Yep. Okay, cool. And then we mix it for 1 more minute. Echo, set a timer for 1 minute.
1 minute, starting now.
Sometimes I feel like a witch. Just a little bit. Toiling away, making bat skeletons. Whoa! What the fuck is wrong with me? Nothing, I'm awesome shit. Echo, stop. Okay, so this is good, but this angle I have here sucks because I'm just showing off this, but none of the actual artwork that happens to be there. So I'm gonna do what I can to give you guys a better view of what I'm working on here. Maybe there. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. It's got epoxy all over my camera, but it's only on the sides. We're good. Cool. All right, let's do this. So, put that there. Okay, let's pour. want to make sure we get all this done last time. And then for these bees, be very careful about how we do it, and just make sure that the bees get it just right. Fill all those little hivey holes of theirs. And then for these, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it a decent amount of epoxy in the middle. Because remember, this is going to be the glue that holds this whole damn thing together. And this is still an experiment to see if this even works. I think it will. It's going to be a light enough piece of wire on it. I'm not too worried about big bloody Bruno over here. But it's these other ones that I'm concerned about. I want to get over... There we go. So if I hadn't said this before, remember all these pieces that I'm making right now, I'm going to be taking with me to the Seattle Tattoo Expo, coming up, I believe, on August 17th through 19th. It's going to be right next to the Space Needle in that little expo center area there. But I'll have my Edwards Art and Design booth, and I'll have probably close to about 40 different pieces. Well, maybe not that much, maybe between 35 and 40. But yeah, all of this stuff will be there. So if you're interested in purchasing any of this, that's the spot to go to. Or you can like reach out to me and DM me if you want. But and once all this stuff comes to fruition for what we're working on, of course I'll be sharing it and posting about it and such. Okay, cool. There's my pour. Oh, rats, I don't want this on the table. It'll get ruined. Not that it's that fancy to begin with, but okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm gonna bring up some of that epoxy into the metal grooves of those screws that were on there earlier. And then I'm gonna brush all of this over so it all gets a nice even coat. And what I can do is I can use my stir stick as an anchor, so I know I'm not going to knock anything over, and I can just make sure that everything gets that nice coat of epoxy. That way everything will have that nice even sheen, like something special's happening. I don't know. There's one of those stray brushes. That's what happens when you use cheap brushes. I mean, each one of these I'm going to throw away every time, but then the little bristles come out. They get stuck in here, it's going to look like shit forever. Forever! Okay. Ooh, this one. Gotta be careful with. You're looking a little wobbly. And I can pick up the excess and reuse it too. Still kind of bummed that that angle is pretty harsh right there, but I don't think I'll be fine. I don't think I'm going to lose any sleep over it. What is that? It's like a piece of hair in there. Or is that peeled paint? Oh, whatever it is, it's stuck in epoxy forever now. So far on this streaming channel, you've seen me make my CRYPTODERMIA because I'm getting ready for that expo where I'm going to sell a bunch of it. Well, I'm hoping to. At least I'm going to have it on sale, and I'm going to be grateful if anyone takes an interest in it enough to invest in my artwork. But I do a lot more than this stuff. Mainly, the season of Halloween's coming up. And so I will be live streaming pumpkin carving. Not just real pumpkins, but also like the pumpkins I carve that last forever. The ones that are made of like that polyurethane material. I just haven't quite figured out how that's going to work yet. Streaming, because that stuff's loud. I'm using a Dremel the whole time, and that's not very quiet. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to go about that. If anyone has any suggestions, if they've worked with a drill in a live stream before, let me know. Shoot me a comment. I'm using the OBS software, and my good friend had suggested looking at, or had looked into the settings for me, and he said that I could set it so that I can have it the mic cut out if it gets to a certain volume point. But then it's going to be like no sound, sound, no sound, sound. So I might have a couple of experiments going once I get this type of streaming where I'm making this stuff work out pretty well. I'll switch it up, and so I'll have a whole new type of stream to ruin. Okay. So all the edges. I don't want any part of this not to have epoxy. Let's cover my base there, and then get around those screws. There we go. And kind of by epoxying over it and the screws, it all makes it like one solid piece. Oh yeah, and I remember I broke that earlier. I need to make sure I get that nice and full of epoxy. That way it'll smooth right over since I painted it on the inside of it. Okay. I think that's a pretty decent amount. Really can't tell all the details. I might have to epoxy these more than once. Kind of like I did the B one over there, but looks pretty decent. Not gonna lie, my weird vision's becoming a reality, and I like it. I need some more epoxy around the base of this, though. There we go. Okay. Okay, cool. So this needs to sit for just a minute while the epoxy thickens a little bit. And then I'm going to hit it with the heat gun to take out all the little bubbles. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it do its jam, just let it do its thing. And I'm going to step away, and we're going to come back to our checklist. All right, epoxy. Good. Last up though, last time we made this kick-ass little glittery black matte rib cage. And we're gonna finish it tonight. We're gonna put it onto this little morbid ruby red blood splattered mount. Yeah, there we go, cool. Sweet, so let's do that. So I need that, and then we're gonna need these guys. Are these guys, bang, go through there? Yeah, that'll be fine. Cool. Where did I do my drill? Drill. Ah, there you were. Okay. What side's gonna be what though? We're gonna go with that one. Just because there's a weird imperfection on the bottom there. And I don't want to have to deal with competing with it. The lower part of the pelvis will cover it right up. So let's draw a line. Now we have a little bit of a guide. That's about straight, right? Cool. Sweet. Good enough. And watch out, octopus. I said watch out, octopus, because there was an octopus that caught on this. It's a reel. Alright, so there's that. And then we just need to attach you to there, and we're good. So let's do you as the insertion point. It's kind of long though. Have a shorter screw. I do. Perfect. I have an idea. I'm most concerned about the way that this blends in with the work I'm doing. So what I'm going to do, well, I'm worried that like you're going to see the screw through it really easily. So how about I just do that old painter's trick and I just spray that now. That'll work. That'll blend right in. Yeah, cool. Let's just let that sit for a second. Drip, drip, drip. Cool. Excellent. Alrighty. Let's make this whole process. Alright, I'm in a knot. I'm in a knot. You're so naughty. You're naughty. I'm dumb. Let's do this. Okay, cool. All the little bubbles that are in there just go boop and they pop right out. It's really pretty. So this black one, I can see a couple spots where I missed it with epoxy already. So I think I'm gonna dab. I can't do it holding this, so let's hang you up. You're not gonna burn me. Find my trusty brush and try to touch those up real quick. Could just be a trick of the light, I don't know. It's weird. I haven't done this over like a plastic base before, but it shouldn't be too different because I'm painting it regardless. Well, there's so many little knots in here. I don't think I needed to do this, but I needed to do it. I'm not going to be able to get in all the little nicks and crannies in here, but I'm going to get into enough of them where they'll stand out if the main parts of the design aren't covered. Okay, cool. But the other ones look great. I'm happy with those. Okay, let's hit that one more time. Can also catch the little drippaloos that build up unnecessarily. Fix those. And dry you off. We're almost done. What time is it? 8:59. Fine. It's about 2 hours into the stream. Not bad. It's gonna burn me. No, it's not too bad. Okay. Let's root you in there. Get you seated. I did a terrible job on that one. I could just use another screw though. Damn. Maybe I can correct it. Let's see. See, I'd like to think tonight that I haven't fucked up repeatedly, but I just found a couple of ways to do things that I was forced in that direction over. We need to find one that's a little straighter. So there we go. That'll work. As long as I cover that up, should be fine. Did it! There we go. Cool. And it relatively blends right in. Doesn't perfectly mask it, but it's good. A little bit of schmuckus there. Tell you what, just because that's going to bug the shit out of me, this is pretty much done, but I'm going to take advantage of the table right now with all the stuff on it, and I'm going to epoxy over it. Just that little tiny thing in the background there. Where is the level surface? There we go. So you can't really see it, but there's just a little tiny nick in the back there that I hate. And I just go over the top of it. And no one will ever know. It'll be our little secret. Shh. Okay, cool. Sweet. I think that about does it, really. Yeah. We're done. We did it. We did it. We did it. Boom. Huzzah. All right. Fuck yeah. Okay, cool. What a night. So what did we accomplish today? What does my list say? We built bat mounts. We got 3 of them. We got 2 for little tiny bats that I made. That's a whole new type of CRYPTODERMIA. And we have one for this crazy bat that's gonna just rob and jump into your nightmares and dance. It's gonna dance because he loves dancing. I don't know. But yeah, we made 3 bat mounts. We did the last rib cage that we didn't finish last time, and we also did the second layer of epoxy over the beehive one that the other rib cage is going to go on. So next time we'll be able to assemble that final one and add bats to these bat mounts, and maybe paint that big skull and figure that out too. I don't know. So, but yeah. I need to take some pictures of these guys tonight so that I can put some more up on the social medias, but they're really neat. And I need to get some pictures of them under blacklight to show you how reflective these are, because they're fucking rad. And some of them completely glow in the dark too. That's kind of neat. But yeah, we did it. And I got hit in the head with a cable. So be careful out there. Stay busy. Don't be a lollygagger. And I don't know. I am due to be back on here to do my regular channel on Sunday, but I'm coming back from a trip, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be back in time for 7. I'm going to try to, otherwise I might push it back a little bit till 8, and we'll see what happens. Otherwise, keep updated on my Twitter account, at Joey Edwards with 3's instead of E's. That's JO3Y, 3DWRDS. I talk really fast, I'm sorry. JO3Y, 3DWARDS. That's where you can find me doing consistent updates about when I stream and stuff like that. Otherwise, they're always backed up on here, on Twitch, and I'm going to be working on bringing them over to my YouTube channel as well. But hey, well, thanks for hanging out, and y'all come back now here. Good day. Thank you guys very much for watching me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, you guys are great. Again, for whoever sees this or cares to watch this, if you don't already, you can, if you like my work, make sure to check me out on Instagram, at Joey Edwards, and again, Twitter updates at Joey Edwards as well. So, and of course, my website, edwardsartanddesign.com, all of my weird and wonderful things can be found there. So, thank you for hanging out tonight, and we'll see you next time.